Citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis, a good day to you all. I bring to you today the post-cabinet briefing for cabinet meeting held Monday, May 12, 2014. The cabinet meeting on this occasion was chaired by the Honourable Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Earl Asim Martin. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Homeland Security, the Honourable Patrice Nisbet, alerted the Cabinet of Ministers that he had prepared an official public statement to encapsulate the sentiments of the government and people of St. Kitts and Nevis concerning the abhorrent incident of the abduction of 200 Nigerian schoolgirls on April 14th this year. Cabinet had earlier expressed its disgust at the unfathomable incident and had hoped that the trauma for the schoolgirls and their families would have been brought to a swift end. The Honourable Patrice Nisbet expressed his deep disappointment that so much time had passed without any apparent success of rescuing the children from their abductors. He emphasized that in addition to the sheer horror of the abduction, the victims were being deliberately robbed of an opportunity to pursue their education, a plight affecting over 65 million girls worldwide. Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Dr. Earl Asim Martin, who chaired the cabinet meeting, in the absence of the Right Honourable Prime Minister, concluded that the government of St. Kitts and Nevis must stand in solidarity with the people of Nigeria and recalled the recent developments in the relationship between Nigeria and the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, including the fact that a significant number of Nigerian nationals have taken up residency in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Members of the Cabinet expressed their views, provided comments, and the draft statement was then finalized and immediately released thereafter. The Finance Administration Act of 2007 is a modern piece of legislation that provides for the strict control and management of public funds, including the authorization of expenditure and raising of funds, the overall control of public debt, and the granting of guarantees. The Act was passed in pursuit of a policy decision taken by the government to increase accountability and transparency in the public financial sector. At Monday's cabinet meeting, a resolution to further control government's short-term financing was presented by the Ministry of Finance. You would recall that the debt level in St. Kitts and Nevis recently dropped by over 80% of GDP as a result of government's policy of reducing the debt by managing income and expenditure and negotiating debt with its creditors. Given that the government has made these enormous strides in recent times, thereby setting the public sector on a firm and sustainable path with respect to its debt and overall financing, the ministry proposed that there be no increases in the limits set for short-term financing of the government. In fact, the debt limits for 3 of the 4 debt facilities identified in the resolution were reduced as follows. Government overdraft limit reduced from $100 million to $75 million. SCASPA overdraft limit reduced from $29 million to $15 million. The Tourism Authority overdraft limit reduced from $8 million to $5 million. The volume of Treasury bills was maintained at $360 million. Note, the above figures are not the balances on these respective accounts. They are the upper limits that have been set or established to ensure that government debt continues rapidly on a downward path. Recently, Cabinet gave approval for Tax Information Exchange Agreements, or TIEAs, to be negotiated with Ireland and South Africa. Those negotiation exercises have since been completed, leading to the creation of a draft agreement awaiting to be signed. At Monday's Cabinet meeting, the final approval was granted for the TIEAs to be signed with Ireland and South Africa. The purpose of these Tax Information Exchange Agreements, or TIEAs, is to promote international cooperation in tax matters through the exchange of information. The TIEA framework was developed by the OECD Global Forum Working Group on Effective Exchange of Information, which consisted of representatives from these OECD member states and 11 other countries in the Caribbean and other parts of the world. The agreement grew out of the work undertaken by the global community to address harmful taxation practices. The signing of these agreements represents an important step in the fulfillment of the Federation's commitments and obligations to the wider global community. So far, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis has signed TIEAs, or Tax Information Exchange Agreements, with 18 jurisdictions, including Aruba, Australia, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, the Faroe Islands, Finland, Greece, Greenland, Iceland, Liechtenstein, the Netherlands Antilles, New Zealand, Norway, Portugal, Sweden, and the United Kingdom. Ireland and South Africa will now be added to the growing list of countries with which we have these agreements. The CFBC is embarking on the rollout of a number of new programs, namely the Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree and the Diploma in Education. There will also be a relaunch of the UWI Level 1 program. The introduction of the Bachelor of Science in Nursing signals a commitment towards improving training for nurses and towards improving training in the entire health sector and the overall improvement of the quality of service in the healthcare sector in St. Kitts and Nevis. The Diploma in Education provides an opportunity for educational professionals to upgrade and sharpen their qualifications and skills in their field of practice. The new programs being offered by the CFBC provide nationals and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis with the rare opportunity of pursuing studies in these critical areas right here at home. These programs will be offered to nationals in particular at very affordable rates. However, in offering these new courses, they required the injection of significant sums of money and other resources by the government to enable their effective delivery. On Monday, Cabinet approved the allocation of additional resources and funds and also approved a subsidy package for local students for these particular courses. The CFBC will officially launch these courses at a later date, and more information will be made available at that time. Finally, at Monday's meeting, May the 12th, Cabinet considered and approved 4 applications for tax concessions from small local businesses. Government continues to believe that the private sector is the engine of growth of our local economy and that every reasonable effort must be made to ensure that they grow and support the overall economy. At this week's Cabinet meeting, strong support was provided for these 4 small businesses operating in the fields of construction, manufacturing, and event management, with the waiver on a range of taxes on materials, tools, and equipment. Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Earl Assie Martin, emphasized that the growth and long-term sustainability of the economic sector in St. Kitts and Nevis are ultimately dependent on the successful operation of small businesses and the creation of jobs and other economic opportunities arising from them. This brings to an end the post-Cabinet briefing for Cabinet meeting held Monday, May the 12th, 2014. I thank you.